I'm not making any money. This is for educational purposes only. Fair use. Fair use. Yeah. Brakata Yahweh. Brakata Yahweh Shai. Brakata Yahweh. Bahasham. Yahweh Shai. Bahasham. Racha HaKodash. I'd like to give all honor and all glory unto Yahweh. Kahaloyim Yahweh. Bahasham. Yahweh Shai. Bahasham. Racha HaKodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well, to the elder apostles, bishops in Connecticut, the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, Shalom, to the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father, and have come back to the fold. Shalom to you sisters, you achwatim, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. This your brother Ram Yahawada with the lesson. This is our beloved apostle Tahar with these reprobate Jakes on Vocab show. And I'm just gonna put a small little part, and then I'm just going to scriptures, make this short.
Shalom, I'm giving all praise to Yahweh, Bashem, Shalom, Kakodah, Shalom to 144,000. Rest of the elect out there, Shalom to you all. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video, GMS is one of the top Israelite camps out there. That's the topic. But they're going to mention IUIC, GOCC, then they're going to mention Brother Vikel, whatever. You're going to mention, GMS. So they're always going to mention us. IUIC got the numbers because of the marching, the gimmicks. We got it because of prophesying, being out there, going into the scriptures. So listen to this.
Secting Hebrew Israelism around 2019, 2014 to 2020. Mention 2005, 2014. 21% say from 2015 to 2018, and 19% from 24 to 2026.
Let me switch the screens a little bit here, because So Real has temporarily pulled a Lazarus on us. So let's yet again. I'm going to come back and say
I do have a question, since you had mentioned it earlier for both the brother Vecco and Christian Road Warrior.
Okay.
When you guys were dealing with Ringo back in, I think it was 2009, because that's I remember seeing the dates of some of Vecco's videos. Now, of course, I didn't see
Ringo is no longer Israelite. I don't know what the hell he's doing.
them originally in 2009, but when I came across them, when I finally became a Christian and embraced the faith, like I recall, it was like 2009. When you guys were dealing with him back then, did you guys ever think that this thing was going to become, that the heresy was going to explode further? It was going to be more than just Ringo. You were going to have other people besides Ringo.
It's exploding because the Most High wants it to come out.
From the Hebrew Israelite side, building up platforms where, for example, today, groups like GOCC, IUIC have like 100,000 subscribers. They have like massive platforms. Did you guys think back then that this thing was going to spiral the way that it has?
I know for me, that wasn't even a thing in my head. I just thought that these guys that I was dealing with directly on YouTube were just some Joe Schmoes like myself on YouTube, just trying to share their views and stuff, but at the same time trying to, pretend that they had some sort of important message that they wanted to bring to the world. I had no idea how big it really.
Hey, dude really trying to seek some Edomite love, Joe Schmoes like myself. Yeah, you really trying to sound, like the goddamn enemy, like the Edomite, man. Self-proclaimed so-called white man. And you're seeking for love, bro. And then they ain't gonna give it to you in the time of Jacob's trouble. So all this is all for naught. It's in vain.
It was until, what's the name of that group? They wear the purple and the yellow. What's the name? IUIC.
IUIC. Yeah, IUIC.
Yeah, so I dealt with mostly.
IUIC has big numbers because of the gimmicks, the marching.
Looking at their videos and also GOCC. What's his name? I think his name is
Prakash Ayar, yeah, when they debated James White.
Right. Debate. That's the debatable word. Yeah. But anyway, so it was those two groups in GMS too. Those three groups that I was mostly focusing on. I had no idea that it was going to blow up as much as it did around. Those two groups in GMS too. Those three groups that I was mostly focusing on. I had no idea that it was going to blow up as much as it did around maybe 2018 to 20 to blow up. That I was mostly.
Yeah. So this is Acts chapter 5 verse 12. It says, "By the hands of the apostles." See, and that's what ultimately took place. In the time of 07 till now, it was really by the hands of the apostles, man. It basically forced everybody to study, right? And of course now it's different because back then the apostle was a lot rougher around the edges then, so it was tough for some people to really get in, but that was part of the spirit, because this thing ain't for everyone, and then of course the Lord have the apostles where they're a lot more, I'll just say more reserved, or it's like wine. It gets better, and that's basically what the apostles have gotten. The truth is a lot more potent than it was at that time. So when that happens, what it's going to grow, right? And many signs and wonders wrought among the people, right? And when you go into the teachings of the apostles of Great Millstone, hey man, it wrought many signs and works, right? May not have the ability to heal, and like in the time of Peter, right? As this is, because it talks about Peter's shadow being able to heal people, but the way they're breaking down the scriptures are healing the minds of the people, because you got to start somewhere first before you can even get to the rest of it, the body or whatever, right? It's the mind, and then being through the mind, we are a body, right? We are the body of Hamashiach Yahushai, right? And wrought among the people, right? And that's like a great work, right? Forging it, working it, at time, when you, because that's like a metal. When you go into that word wrought, it goes into like being basically working out like a ironsmith, or swordsmith. He wrought out the metal and forges it and shape it the way he needed to be shaped, and you wrought it out to its boom shape, and then it's a sword, but it's rough around the edges and things like that, and that's how the teachings was at first. But now you're at the point where it has been sharpened and furbished and sharpened, and then sharpened, and then as it go on, it's being more and more sharpened, right, among the people, and they were all with one. See, and now you're in the place where GMS is on one accord, right? And they were all with one accord in Solomon's temple. Hey, Solomon being Yahweh Shai, right? You know. So that was the apostles of then, but the apostles of now having you on one accord, basically in Solomon's temple, which is the word, man. We're in the temple in this word, you know. It says and of the rest durst no man join himself to them, but people magnify them, right? And see, and when you do something magnify, it's bigger than you think. You know, to you it looks small, looks minuscule, look like Jude try to say, oh, another Joe Schmo, people like me. Yeah. But then it became bigger in the minds, in the hearts of the people, because this is important, right? It's important to know that we're the Israelites, right? You know, it's important to know who we are. You know, it says, and the believers were more added, right? See, and that's what happens. What happens is this is very important, and the believers were more added to the outer one, right? Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai multiplied both men and women. See, so now we have the elect men and the elect lady, and that's what's being talked about now, right? Yeah. So this is Acts chapter 5. I'm just skipping down to 24. Same chapter, just skipping down to 24. It says, now when the high priest and the captain of the temple and the chief priest heard these things, they doubted of them whereunto this would grow. See, and that's basically what it is, because you people, even in this time, these high priests and these these Sadducees, these Pharisees, Sadducees, and scribes of that time. Well, I'm not gonna say all of them, but it was a good share of them. They were just gatekeepers, man. You know, they were gatekeepers, and that's basically what this whole thing was with what's his name, vocab, jumping out there. His gatekeepers was like, hey, something's going on, we need you to go out there and disrupt things, you know what I mean? Because where do you have money you mean, because remember, you're supposed to just be this average everyday Edomite who just so-called loves Jesus, right? Which I hate to say that name, but that's what you're supposed to be, right? But then you got money to fly on planes to New York and to Ohio, then over to London to mess with the other brothers in London, and then you just keep popping up wherever GMS is at, no matter where at on the planet. Like, it's just crazy. So, but then you already said that what? FBI and the Jesuits, or they're what was one and the same, technically, the FBI Jesuits came to you and told you to teach the NFL, told you to do all these different things. So you told you're Satan, right? At the end of the day, you're an adversary, because that's ultimately what Satan means, adversary. You're adversary to the truth, right? And they're and this is what this whole thing was now. Oh, I didn't think it was gonna grow like that, but like Apostle Tahar said, man, this is of the Lord, of Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakha HaKodash. Hey, and there's nothing you could do against the truth, but for the truth, man. No matter who we are, right? I mean, so hey, get with it or get lost. But you're set up in your lot, right? It says when then came one and told them, saying, Behold, which means look, feast your eyes, look, pay attention, the men whom ye put in prison. See, and that's what they want. That's what they want to do. They want to lock us up in a prison of our mind to worship our oppressor, to constantly be like a rat or was it a hamster on the wheel, you know, trying to get through life, and you're just on this hamster wheel, and you're promised all these promises, which is what these red hatters were, these MAGA. They were promised, and they're just spinning their wheels. This dude completely showed that he's only for he's really Israel first. And then his own red ass first, right? It ain't about you, right? So you people got duped. Yeah. So you know, and we're not falling for it no more. You're not going to put us in a prison. You're not. We're out of that prison. And see, and that's what you're mad about. You're trying to be a gatekeeper and keep us locked up in this prison, right? Which is America, right? And the state of your mind is a prison, right? But the Lord is coming to deliver us out of the state of our mind, which that's what happened first through the scriptures, understanding who we are. Deuteronomy 28:68. That is us, right? These jakes want to say that they seen it, but they didn't see it, which don't make sense, which makes you a liar, right? And the Lord ain't dealing with liars, man. The Lord despises liars, or you know what I mean, or cowards, because either make you a liar or a coward, or maybe both. And the Lord ain't dealing with that, man. So you're gonna have a missile with your name on it, man. And that's all that's gonna happen. You know what I mean? You're trying to shuck and jive and find and seek love. Hey, man, the day is over. Whom ye put in prison. See, they wanted to keep us in prison. They put us in prison, but we ain't in prison. They like, wait a minute. I thought these dudes were supposed to be into Christianity, into madness, into Islam, into some gang banging and drug dealing, and that's all we supposed to be good for. We're supposed to be into some Christianity, loving and bowing down to our oppressor, and that man ain't never proved that he would ever come and save us. They haven't. They'll tell you pull yourself up by your bootstrap. Meanwhile, blowing up all your rich towns, and then a Jake that can understand and learn that type of knowledge and still be kissing the white man's, you know what, you know, hey, that's beyond insane, because it says insane is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. That is beyond insane, because the answers and the evidence is out there now, right? You got on that show, on Vocab show, after the Epstein list is put out. That is you're talking beyond insane. Because before you'd be like, the guy's just ignorant. He's a novice. He don't know. But even if you're a novice, even about the Epstein list, the wicked and demonic things these Edomites have been doing, and then enticing Jake to do it, and then throw Jake under the bus for it, trying to get the attention off of them, right? So it says, are standing in the temple, right, and teaching the people. So now we're out on the highways and the byways teaching the people, and it's growing, and they don't have an answer for it. So I'm just going to end it right there. So Kahaloyim, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachaha Kodash. I'd like to give double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well, to the elder apostles, bishops in Connecticut, the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists, because that's prophecy in itself, right? You got to have apostles, preachers, teachers, and evangelists, and that's what's happening. And they're upset about it, man. Yeah, and the four winds of the earth. I mean, seeking their salvation with fear and trembling. The hopeful elect to the elect, right? Because the elect is it's gonna happen. One day you're gonna be a hopeful elect, and that hopeful elect is going to be the elect, right? Period. Right? The Israelite foreigners, hey, that's another they don't have an answer for. What for the Israelite foreigners who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through the father, right? Not through the mother, through their father, and have come back to the fold. Shalom, right? To your sisters, your chwatim, right? Even to the women, right? Who listen and learn under their husband, which is their spiritual leader, right? Because women are getting in order, right? Things are starting to get in order, and that order is shaking up your status quo, right? So with all that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Shai, and shalom to the elect, and the Baba Ball, Kwam Yasharallah.